Hey, how's everyone doing there tonight? This is Undead Nightmare 24 back with a video. Hope everyone's doing well out there. It's going to be a ranking video for the Scream franchise. I decided to do this Saturday, so we'll count as my Saturday video. And I just finished watching the Scream franchise, including the new one, which was streamed on Paramount. So I decided to go through the whole franchise and revisit them and give you guys my thoughts and opinions. First off, I'm going to start by saying that this is a franchise I really enjoy. It's pretty much took place during the mid-90s and just cranked it up after that, and it has a soft spot for me, and I always have enjoyed this franchise. So I'm going to be going from 5 through 1 and give you guys my thoughts and opinions. Again, these are my opinions, and I'm going to start from the one that I thought was the weakest to the best out of this franchise, even though I did enjoy every film in this franchise. So let's get started. At number 5, we're going to go with Scream 3 from 2000. Now this one takes place in like a Hollywood set. We got these films, the Stab films, and they're based off the stories of the original characters from the original, and they're making these movies to pretty much profit off real life horrifying events in these films that took place involving a slasher named by Ghostface. You guys know all the story and the survivors among it and the ones who didn't survive. It just tells all the stories together in these films, and this takes place in the Hollywood set where these films, Stab, based off it, are pretty much blowing up and getting popular. They're on a Hollywood set, like I said, and you got actors and actresses playing the original characters, and it's hilarious. One of my favorite characters in this film was the one that played Gale Weathers. She's the reporter, and it was her an actress playing her character who was hilarious. Like I said, she actually, I think, even did outwitted Gale's character by just playing her, because she's nosy and this investigator and pretty much snotty reporter from the films you guys know that'll get at anything for a story, and I just like the way she played that. Together, the story in this film is pretty solid, but it's definitely one of the weaker ones. I thought it lacked something for me for some reason in this one, so that's why I'm going to put at number 5 Scream 3 from 2000. Okay, at number 4 I'm going to go with Scream 4. This was made 11 years later at 2011 from Scream 3. So this has Sidney Prescott, the main character in these films, the final girl, returns to Woodsboro. She's written a book about her life, her own version. And you got Gale Weathers, who wrote the original book about the events that happened from the original. And there's a little jealousy there by Gale, because Sidney's getting popular. She's well known. Everyone wants to talk to her. And she pretty much gets put back in the city of the town or whatever of Woodsboro, and how she gets there, there's a killer loose doing that same thing, killer known as Ghostface, and you got Sidney pretty much villainized in this film, because she's pretty much considered the angel of death in this film. No one wants to get near her. They think she's psychotic. They even, it's the point where they call her Jeffrey Dahmer in the film and all this. And then she has a cousin who sympathizes with her and feels bad for her, stands by her side. So Cindy's back here to battle the killer known as Ghostface and protect her family, as she has more family members that are being targeted by this killer. So I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was refreshed the franchise after 11 years. So at number 4 I'm going to put Scream 4 from 2011. Okay, we're gonna get into number 3. I'm gonna go with the latest film, which I just watched, was Scream. I'm gonna call it Scream because that's all it says, from 2022. And this reunites the whole crew 20 some years later. You got Sidney, Dewey, and Gale once again back, and through different events of their lives, some not so good, some good for the better. You got a new fresh group of teenagers from our new era where they're quoting modern horror films and using their slang, which threw me off a little bit. But again, you have the killer returning, picking them off one by one, and this has to do with the Stab franchise, because at this point in the film there's 8 films in the franchise, and there's a last one done that pretty much is pretty bad, and it has everyone angry. So you have pretty much a copycat killer back trying to make the horror film franchise right, and it brings all the crew reunited and some fresh new characters. I thought it was done really well and excellent. I really enjoyed this one. And one thing I'm going to say about the new Scream is it's more brutal on the kills, man. You have Ghostface really, I mean, gutting his victims in this one. So I really enjoyed. I think these were the top kills in the franchise, in my opinion, on this new one. Really like this one, so I'm gonna have it at number 3, Scream 2022. So here we go to the top 2 guys. Of course, they're gonna be 90s. I love my 90s nostalgia, and this one has it on both these films. So at number 2, I'm gonna go with Scream 2 from 1997. This takes place. This has 2 college students. This is the first screening of the film Stab, which they're pretty much trying to portray the original cast members from the situation that happened, and it's shown screening in a theater. You got 2 college students getting picked off inside the theater, which is a popular scene throughout this franchise. And then you got I mean, it's based off the events of the original. You have a copycat killer on the loose again, picking off people one by one. And this film has a lot to do with getting revenge on Sydney. It's a revenge story towards her. So that's all I'm going to get into it. This film's very 90s. It has a notable cast in it that just, I kept remembering cast members throughout this film. Like, wow, really brought me back to the late 90s there. So number 2, I'm going to go with Scream 2 from 1997. Okay, we're getting to the number 1. Of course, you know me, I'm pretty much going to stick with the original, Scream from 1996. This film is an important film because at this time, the slasher franchise has pretty much dried out. Since the 80s, you haven't seen much slashers that lived up to expectations. And to me, Scream from 96 just, it revived it. It brought back that slasher genre. Wes Craven brought it back in this original one and gave it that thirst we've been, you know, lacking in the slasher franchise. It reawakened it. This film is funny, clever, and frightening at the same time. It just has that 90s charm to it. It brought back the whodunit slasher franchise where you're guessing the killers, and to me this is also iconic. It sticks with us, and we have memes and so much other stuff from this film that I could even get into. But to me, an all-time classic from 1996 at number 1 is Scream. I love this film, and that's where it should be at number 1. So that is my rankings there, guys, my opinions. I decided to talk about this franchise because I had a really good time revisiting it. I hadn't seen them in years, and they all lived up pretty good, man. And I gotta say, it's a solid slasher franchise all around. Everyone, hit a like, comment, subscribe, comment. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Everyone have a awesome weekend out there. Stay safe, be kind to each other. This is Undead Nightmare 24 back with a video. Peace.